Okay, May 30th. In 1854, President Franklin Pierce signs the Kansas-Nebraska Act. This was the most significant piece of legislation that came out of his presidency. And what this did is it partly repealed the compromise of the Missouri Compromise, which set the slavery limit at 36 degrees 30 minutes latitude, north south. So that slavery could not exist north of that. That was kind of the compromise as they were starting to bring states in. And so it's essentially the border between Tennessee and Kentucky. So if you draw that line across the country, that was the Missouri Compromise. So no slavery after that. But this Kansas-Nebraska Act got rid of that. And what it allowed was the residents of Kansas and Nebraska to vote. So they could vote and decide whether or not they wanted to allow slavery. And this led to, Franklin Pierce losing support in the North. So it really doomed his presidency. So he really had no chance of being elected to a second term. He was a dark horse in the 1852 election, and then B, with this signing of this bill, he was kind of he's considered a dough face, I think is what they call him, which were Northern sympathizers to the Southern cause. So he was kind of done politically. But the other thing was, this led to the Bleeding Kansas, which was where all these people, the Southern slavery people, moved into Kansas, and they basically set up rival governments, and there were riots and almost internal conflict, and they were fighting and shooting, and people were getting killed over this issue of voting to determine whether or not slavery would be allowed in Kansas. So that's what I have for today. In 1854, President Franklin Pierce signs the Kansas-Nebraska Act. I will see you tomorrow.